The early Christmas presents from Santa just keep coming, don't they? Liverpool match preview. Welcome back to another video on the Newcastle video on the channel Newcastle fans. Liverpool on Thursday. I must be mad for going to the game. I do have a ticket for tomorrow. Second one in the space of a couple of days. But you've got to do what you've got to do. You've got to support us when things aren't so good and support us when things are good as well. Otherwise, what sort of fan are you? We knew this Christmas fixture was going to be tough. It's not looking like it's getting any easier. I don't think there's one Newcastle fan. Well, there'll be a few. There's always a few. There won't be many Newcastle fans going into that game tomorrow night at Anfield hopeful of anything. You never know in football. That's the only thing you can say. We've seen crazy results in history, but the way we are defending at the moment, and generally the way we even playing in a lot of other areas across the field, even further up the pitch, I'm not expecting anything on Thursday. Liverpool at the moment look absolutely unstoppable. I know Aston Villa held them for a while on Saturday, but generally speaking, I mean, you just need to look at their attacking players. Mo Salah's in the form of his life. We put a jokey post on our Facebook and Instagram page today about Jamal Lewis's only way of stopping Mo Salah as being to lock him in the toilet before the game starts. Because, no offence to you, Jamal, but you're not the sort of different gravy to be able to put a stop to Mo Salah. I don't think there's any defenders in the world who are, so that's no discredit to you. So, where do you start with regards to stopping them, with containing them? There's a lot of arguments for this one in terms of how to set up, but I think we need to come to the terms with the fact that Eddie Howe is not going to play defensive. There was an argument in Arsenal that he maybe did it a little bit in the second half. I don't think that was actually him. I think that was something the players still had installed in them from the Bruce and Benitez days. I think Eddie Howe is only going to go one way, and he knows a game like this, if you try and defend, you will get battered. Because we are not good man for man defensively or just across the field to match up to Liverpool if we let them have all of the ball and try and hold on to a 0-0, for example. So you'd like to hope Eddie Howe's going to go attacking. I'd like to see that, because let's face it, anything we get from this, even, it's bad to say, but for me, even accredited performance is better for me than nothing. So if we come away from Anfield tomorrow night on that long trip home in the early hours, and I've seen something, so a good bit of attacking football, some improved performances, some solidarity at the back, in the centre-back positions, just a decent performance in the circumstances. Yes, the chances are that we'll lose, but I just want to see something. I want us as fans to have a bit of hope going into, I don't want to say going into the Man City game on Sunday, because again, the fixture list is cruel to us at the moment. And if you watched them against Leeds last night, Jesus Christ, that was an onslaught. And Leeds are higher than us in the table. Play very similar philosophies, I'd say, Bielsa and Eddie Howe, attacking wise. So I don't want to say going into the Man City big game, but moving forward, because that Leicester performance couldn't get much worse for me. Yes, we were okay the first 15 minutes. But the fact that they had their best centre-back taken off in the third minute, they had played the Thursday before, didn't really get out of third gear, but somehow won the game 4-0, and they hadn't kept a clean sheet for 21 games. I'm sorry, it was worrying. So I want to come away from that with a bit of pride in the performance. I think that's all we can ask from Newcastle fans going where we are in the table, down to a team like Liverpool, who play some incredible stuff and have got fantastic players all over the field. We don't travel well to Anfield. That's another thing. Very similar to the Emirates against Arsenal a couple of weeks ago. We do not have a good record down there. We've got a couple of draws here and there. I remember we got a draw when Colback and Sissoko scored in the season. We were relegated. Go even further back, we pinched a draw. God, I can remember when Shearer and Speed scored on a Monday night in a 2-2 draw under Bobby Robson. Generally speaking, though, we normally always get beat at Anfield. The last couple of years, we haven't even put in half a show. So I can't even remember. I've been to Anfield the last couple of years, pre-COVID. I can't even remember us laying a glove on them in previous matches. So it can't get much worse than what we've previously done at Anfield. Now, changes Fernandes is apparently injured for the Christmas period. Lascelles must be absolutely clapping his hands. I would have called for Fernandes to come in, but we can forget about that argument now because that's not an option. So would I go with Kraft over Lascelles? God, that's like one of them would you rather questions, isn't it? Would you rather have knee arms or knee legs? I'd probably stick with Lascelles just because I'm going to assume that his leadership qualities are there, which is why Howe's backing him and keeping him in his position. Kraft, for me, I don't really have an opinion on the bloke. He's never played woefully bad to the point where I've felt like he's been responsible for a game, but I also don't think he's anything special. He's been played at fullback recently, which I thought he was terrible. He's definitely not a fullback. So yes, if it's going to come down to would you play Lascelles or Kraft, I guess Lascelles has got to stick, but the Fernandes argument's done now. So there's no need to call for that one. I think Jamal Lewis, he's going against Mo Salah. He needs to be on his game as much as he can be. I'm not expecting him to stop one of the greatest players in the world, but he needs to have his wits about him. Concentration levels need to be through the roof. I don't know whether he needs to stick 3 Red Bulls down his neck before the game or what, but he needs to be on it. Communication in that defence needs to be key. And the graft that our midfield is going to have to put in. That's why, for me personally, tomorrow could be a controversial decision. I would put Isaac Hayden in. I would. I really would. Willock is offering nothing to us at the moment. Eddie Howe's backed him again in his interview this morning. But for me, it's all well and good saying Willock is going to come good. It's about now. It's about now, and Isaac Hayden could put a job on someone in that midfield. Yes, he always picks up a yellow card, but Isaac Hayden is a Newcastle player the best part of 5 years now, has not put much of a foot wrong. The odd red card maybe, he's chipped in with the odd goal here and there, and I think he could do a job on, say, Thiago if Thiago starts. He could match up to Henderson, because I think he's probably got the legs on Henderson, if nothing else. So for me, Hayden would come in. Shelby's going to have to graft his bollocks off. He could be crucial to a counter-attack, and Maximin really, really needs to put a shift in. These are the games where we are living on scraps, and Maximin is the sort of scrap you want to live on, because he's the man who can turn defence into attack by taking on 3 players, picking up a free kick, taking it a bit further hopefully, but slowing the game down in spells when Liverpool are obviously going to dominate us. The right full-back position, Manquillo, we've seen him have good games in the past against decent wingers. I remember he smashed Wilfried Zaha again for Crystal Palace at St James's Park a season ago when Zaha was on form. I know you're going back a long time, but defensively, I guess he does have a performance in him. But Mane, again, different gravy on his day. So there's problems all over. And that's why I'm sort of saying just a spirited performance will be something for us to take out of Thursday night's game, going into the Man City and Man United games over Christmas. How we transition that defence into attack is key tomorrow night. Can we catch Liverpool on the counter-attack? Yeah. Liverpool defensively aren't fantastic. I've seen teams go to Anfield and score in the last 6 months, going into last season as well. They like to attack a lot. Trent, I don't care what anyone tells me, Trent is not a good defender. He's fantastic going forward and the stats speak for itself. But Maximin can have Trent's pants down in that final third. Will we get there or not? I don't know. That all depends how on his game Shelby can be when he does have the ball and how he utilises it, and how quickly we can transition defensive moments when we actually get the ball into attacking moments. I'm going to go for I don't even like to call defeats. You don't like to predict a defeat, but I'll go for 3-1 Liverpool and us to at least get on the score sheet. And I'd like to hope Eddie Howe has given them a rattle this week in training, and we will put in a better performance than Leicester. It has to be, doesn't it? It has to be. If you're new to the channel, Newcastle fans, make sure you click like and subscribe. Let us know your predictions going into the game. Hopefully there's some optimistic fans out there. And if you don't already follow us on Facebook and Instagram, make sure you get on there. If you are going down to the game, let us know. We can maybe meet for a beer beforehand out in one of the pubs near the stadium. And I'll try and touch down, not after the game, it'll probably be Friday morning for a match review to talk about, hopefully, just a credited, decent performance. Away the lads.